Hi everyone, Scott from ColourSpace here. Now, I know that you're all busy hustling and bustling away, but we also know how important it is to be able to take some mental time for yourself, to be able to disconnect a little from the daily grind in order to re-energize and recharge for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. Studies have shown that looking at art, even for just a few minutes a day, can help you decrease some of those cortisol or stress levels, gives you that mental break that you need, and even leaves you feeling a bit more productive for the rest of the day. In this series, what we're going to do is look at a piece of artwork each week and just spend a few minutes talking about what the artwork is, who it's by, and sort of share some interpretations from it as well. So why don't we get stuck into it? Pens down, keyboards aside, and let's take 5 with art. So the first piece we're going to look at today is City Views by Rose Giardina. Rose is a Melbourne-based artist, and she's a self-taught one at that. She came to painting after a 7-day silent meditation retreat that she went to a few years ago, and afterwards just realized that she had an artist in her all along, and she's been painting ever since. So this piece here is a really good example of a piece that straddles the line between abstraction and representation. It's abstract because on the one hand you can look at it and think it's got some big strong colors, the blues and the oranges, simple geometric shapes, and you can take from it what you will. Where it crosses that line into representation is from the name City Views, because as soon as you hear the name City Views, you can see, yes, it is 2 giant bronze windows opening out into a sort of a vague cityscape in the background there. Rose has used thick layers of paint that she's scraped down the canvas using a palette scraper to create the effects that you see here. And you can actually see some of the previous layers of paint which creates this effect up here, with fresher paint being scraped down below. So with appreciating any piece of artwork, there are 3 steps that we're going to follow for all of our pieces. Step 1, straight up, do you like the piece? Step 2, if not, then are there any particular elements of the piece that you like? Whether that might be the subject matter, whether that might be the marks or the way that the artist has created her work, or even just as simple as the color palette. And then Step 3, if you still don't like any of it, then it's always worth thinking, did the artist actually intend for us to feel this way? So let's apply that to Rose's piece here. Step 1, do I like this piece? Well, for me, I would have to say straight up, this is a piece that I could see myself just easily walking past and not really giving a second look to, because, well, on the abstraction side, it is simple geometric shapes, some bright colors. I can see myself going past and thinking, oh yeah, that's all right. So that brings us to step 2. Is there any part of the artwork that I particularly like? And as a matter of fact, yes. For me, it's to do with the title of the piece. I think this is a really good example of an artwork where the name of a piece can really guide the experience of us as an audience. By calling it City Views, I'm immediately placed in a situation where I can say, yeah, I am in perhaps an apartment. I can see the windows opening out. These shapes here now immediately become like buildings for me. And it just starts to raise all these just fun questions for me. What kind of a city are we in? Why is it blue? Are we underwater? Or is this a highly futuristic alien, sort of landscape? So a piece like this is really interesting for me because, again, it just reminds me of how important it is, the effect that a name or a title can have in priming audience expectations. And I just wonder, is that something that you can relate to? Have there been business reports or presentations that you've gone to where the name has actually really guided your experience for that, for whatever it is that you've gone to, whether it set you up for the right experience or if it's just completely thrown you off because it is at a complete disconnect to what it is that you actually end up seeing. And if you can relate to some of these, I'd love to see some of your comments below and hear about some of your experiences. Otherwise, that's time. I hope you enjoyed looking at this piece of artwork with me by Giardina. Now, get back to work.